Rising. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show. My name is Andre Hill. I'm your host. And Happy New Year's, everybody. This is our New Year's show, and it is a doozy. So we're going to bring some interesting topics. We got the chairman in Detroit. Chairman, what's going on in Detroit?
Well, cold. 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And everything is white.
Oh,
Can't
man.
see no grass.
How, it says 20 degrees. That's like 12 degrees below freezing.
No, that's not below. You might feel like it if you stood out there for a while, but some 20 degrees, that's well, yeah, right. I'm thinking of Celsius.
Yeah.
When you say 12, it's below freezing. Freezing is 32.
Fahrenheit,
12 degrees.
Yeah, man. That is some cold weather. So everything else is going on okay up there?
Yeah, pretty much so, just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, right. Okay. We got some serious feedback. Hey, Mama Kelly, how you doing up in Atlanta?
Excuse me. Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Yes, Grand Rising, everybody. Wasn't quite ready to talk, but yes, it's cold up here. No, it's not. That was last week. It's quite warm, but we had a lot of rain last night, and it's also very cloudy today. And I think it's like 56 degrees. So I didn't hear about your weather. It's very cold up there in Detroit, right?
Hey, Chairman.
Chairman?
Is he on mute?
Chairman, can you hear us? Oh, somehow, yeah. Put him on mute.
Oh, we got a slight technical difficulty. We come right back to you, Chairman. Hey, Julian.
I'm going to have to get off and come back because my computer's going wow.
We can hear you now.
We can hear you now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so Julian, what's going on with you, man?
Man, a little bit of everything, man. The constant development, and well, I'll say this. The walking of the journey of this Aboriginal nation, is my everyday job, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. I love it, to be honest with you. Everything's all good.
Yeah, so we had a preview of our Aboriginal tribe celebrations. We're getting away from these pagan religions and pagan celebrations. So we celebrated Kwanzaa on this past Thursday, the last day of Kwanzaa, and it was outstanding. We had a very good attendance, and we hadn't had a Kwanzaa celebration in a few years. And for the first one in a while, we had the beautiful young sisters doing those African dances. It was amazing. Speeches, just vendors and with African wear, foods and everything. It was an outstanding celebration. And this is a prelude to our annual powwow that we intend to have in Orlando. And one of the things that I do know, we're going to have those dances there in the Orlando area for our annual Aboriginal powwow, when all the nations are coming together, and we're going to collaborate on our move forward. So definitely keep an eye on us and look out for those celebrations. And we're going to have more celebrations in the future. So let us go ahead and get into the topics here. One of the things that is not troubling me, but things that I had to think about, I saw a video of this brother talking about, the cities, Aboriginal cities that have been flooded intentionally, burned, murdered, bombed. And I said, man, we were traumatized so much by these invading savages and they were following orders of the Catholic Church to destroy us. Anybody that didn't convert to their Christianity, they had orders, and they thought it was from God, from the particular Catholic priest, to just destroy, murder, and anybody that didn't submit down to their savagery and their image of this fake Christ being that they created. And so I said, well, we got to really tap into a frequency. And I think about Martin Luther King. He did it with that Christianity, and not taking anything away. It was a stepping stone. That movement was proof that if you use their religion, here are the consequences, and they end up murdering him. Malcolm, the same thing. He did it with Islam, and once again, it proved that these Abrahamic religions, if you are beholden to them or you are practicing them, it didn't provide you with the right frequency of protection. Even Marcus Garvey, he did it with the monetary issue, how we're going to make money within this Luciferian system, and it proved not to be it was a stepping stone. It was a system of awareness with Martin, Malcolm, and even Marcus, but it demonstrated that was the way required even a higher frequency. And so now with the 3-Eye Atlas circling, now with all those people, our ancestors that were murdered, whether it was COVID, whether it was by the hands of the policemen or wars, all those souls that have not reincarnated in the atmosphere, we're going to be calling on them to protect this movement, because we're demonstrating unity. We're demonstrating the power to come together and create a new paradigm for our children. We're no longer going to submit to the evil of capitalism, throat-cutting environments. So the decree of death, and it must be understood. And this is one thing that a savage mentality understands, that if you transgress against us, if you try to stop our movement to bring our people together, you're going to die. And that's the only thing these savages understand. And as we focus in on one frequency, we're not focusing on the frequency of a religion that was handed to us. We're focusing into a frequency of the Most High, and an advanced metaphysical consciousness. That's why right now we're recruiting star seeds, people that understand this, and this power and this frequency. As we think about it, anytime somebody tried to intercept us, I was on the phone with our sister up in DC, and the phones were going crazy and wild because they know we're getting ready to tap into this frequency and pull on all the nations all over the world to come together to stop this madness. And so every time you interfere with us, you look around, you got family members, you got the individuals that are giving these orders to interrupt us, you're going to be met with dire consequences. And so we're calling on all the star seeds to tune into this frequency. We're calling in on all of the people all over the world, the melanated people, to understand that this test is over, this madness is over, and we will stop it through a collective order. Hey, I'm going to give a chairman, before we go into those particular topics, especially with the 3-Eye that you're going to be bringing up, what do you, and I know you have a particular thought or process on how we come together, but this is the new year, this is 2026. What do you suggest to the people?
My suggestion is, we have to come together, because if we don't, we're going to destroy each other. Just plain and simple. We've been put on this planet basically as different tribes to come together, either destroy each other or come together. And what would you choose? Unity or self-sacrifice and destruction? It's no other choice. We don't have, at this time, we don't have no other choice. There's things that are happening on our planet today that we could have a nuclear explosion from one country fighting another one and end the life for everybody, all the innocent people. And there are more good people than there are bad people on this planet. We just got so-called a handful of bad apples that's trying to destroy the whole bunch. And we're not going to let that happen, because we're going to give you alternatives of joining with us. And strength is in unity. So we want things to be right for our descendants, especially us elders. You know, we've at that 11:30 hour, you know, heading towards 12 o'clock. But, you know, we want to make sure that everything is well here before we make our transition. And it's beneficial. If you just follow what we're talking about, listen to what we're talking about, you'll agree with us. But in order to agree, you got to come together with us, because that's where the strength is, in unity.
All right. Hey, Mama Kelly, are you on?
Yes, I was organizing myself.
Okay.
I think
So,
I'm okay now.
so Mama Kelly, you know, I kept getting these signals. I guess I can say it's from three outlets. I can say it's from the universe. But you know, it's at this point, it's critical that we unite a frequency to let these demonic forces that's operating on the planet that still wants to continue or insecure about their own personalities, wanting to maintain oppression. What some kind of downloads are you receiving that we to protect our tribes as we move forward?
We have to learn how to be still and to go for the power that is within. We need to learn to depend on the ancestors who are waiting to guide us. But it's unfortunate that too many of us wait for the sky god that we have been indoctrinated into believing is actually going to descend from heaven and rescue us. No, that's not going to happen. Perhaps the sky god is Three-Eye Atlas. But the message is that power that we are seeking through different entities here on Earth don't exist. They are not even human. They exist in another dimension, but they have another kind of hold on us. And what that is economic slavery. Now, we haven't learned how to actually free ourselves from economic slavery, although we had it down before the colonizers arrived and after the so-called Civil War. We were able, even up until this very moment, we are still creating independent cities, but too many of us don't know where to start. And by joining our tribes, our clans, our nations, at least there would be some unity and some goals to reach and to attain and to realize. A lot of people, they don't, first of all, they don't know where to start. And so by starting and understanding that your power lies within you and that the Great Spirit and the ancestors are always waiting to bring you on board. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. So, hey, Junior, I want to tap into the different generations. Are you getting downloads in terms of how this tribe, you know, you are enrolling people every day into our tribal collective. What kind of downloads you getting for the New Year's, and in terms of, and also in terms of protection, you know?
What's that song? First thing popped in my head as soon as you asked me. What's that song that came out in y'all's time? Ain't no stopping us now.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
That's how I feel. I mean, you talking about every step that we've been making recently. It all shows its own confirmation, from everything from harmony to even conflict resolution. There ain't nothing that's gonna stop this. I mean, we've got the people in our collective so in tune with this, almost hive mind style. So it's kind of scary to me even just observing it. How much in tune everybody is with one another, and the force behind it is like I usually tell everybody that I meet recently that comes to the tribe for quote unquote enrollment or nationality. Um, you know, I tell them like this is one of the strongest movements I ever seen. I was raised in the conscious community. And I haven't seen, you know, just I'll just say this in my 40 years, strongest movements I've ever seen. But you know, even in my 40 years, like I said, I've seen a good amount of movements, especially within the information era, right? Seen a good amount of movements, and this is probably one of the most strongest ones. I mean, one of my sisters just recently, she just texted me about downloads recently. Everybody's getting them. Everybody's reaching a frequency, and I'm saying this from a scientific perspective for those who can only hear it from that language. Um, the literal frequency, which is, you know, that's the science of any communication device that you have. It works on resonating frequencies. That's how it works. In other words, you have to match a frequency here, and if there's another matching frequency over here, they can communicate instantaneously. That's how information is passed all throughout the universe. And the frequencies that are most high are being revealed to us, and we all rising to the occasion. I've never seen that quite like it. And so now as far as protection goes, I have personally, you know, received the download that we have reached the point of critical mass with, I mean, on this planet, with the Aboriginals allowing invasive species to disrupt our ecosystem here. We're at the point of critical mass, meaning, yes, we are, you know, spiritually, energetically, we agreed to, you know, cohabitate with non-original beings on this planet for a while. But at this point, you know, it's got to the point to where whatever experiences that will allow, you know, for them to, you know, go through, and for us to go through with them. You say it all the time, Pops. Is, you know, the suffering aspect of that, the lesson learning aspect of that is done. That's done. So for any other groups out there who feel that you cannot exist on this planet in harmony with the original beings, that ain't nobody problem with yours. You got to speak to the Most High about that. That's your problem. If you can't exist with us in our complete natural state, and in a state to where we're thriving as we are, because we ain't looking to harm you, we ain't got no reason to, because we're usually abundant on our own, right? We ain't nothing to take from you, right? But do you feel like you got something to take from us? Is the question. And if you got something to take from us, can you be compensating and or reciprocal? Can you maintain balance within this beautiful, you know, multidimensional, beyond mathematical understanding existence that we have here? If you can't, again, I suggest you search within, you speak to the Most High that you have access to, and work it out. But landing this plane right here, ain't no stopping us now.
All right. Hey, Mike, how you doing? I'm gonna hit you with 3 questions because I know you understand the power of strong arming, and we you know, and that's the thing that we want to convey, especially as elders within our organization. But I'm gonna ask you too, how we know how what the weather is like in Detroit. So what's going on in Chicago?
Same thing, another day, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Like Andre said, you know, things is happening now. Can't be stopped. You follow me? And like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, these people, these people were not born to do the right thing. You follow what I'm saying? So we can't expect them to do the right thing. It's not in their genes, it's not in their nature to do the right thing. And you know, but our people, I'm glad to see a lot of so many young people are waking up. You know, it's a lot. Like you said, the energy can't be stopped. They're waking up because we moving. Is the move is going into a whole nother dimension, and you know, other than a little cold weather, it's all good here.
So okay, so that was the first question. So I got 2 more for you, Mike. One, I made a statement on our promo yesterday that we're gonna, we're gonna start out and give the Boule Negroes a clean slate, and to give them the opportunity to repent if they start that process. And what are your thoughts? Do we give them a pass? If they start the repentance process, or what?
I mean, personally, I forgive them, but the point is that's between them and the Most High. What they have done, what they have done, they're gonna pay for what they did. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody else, when the time comes, when that time comes for destruction, Dr. York said it well. He said, those that are to be saved, he said, you have a ringing in your ear. He said, when that time comes for those to be saved, you will be told, you will not hear a ring, and you will know, you'll be hearing something telling you what to do, where to go. He said, everything else negative is going to leave this planet. These Boule, they are so mesmerized with the system and the people, the powers that be, that I don't see them coming around. I really don't. You follow me? Because they won't. I'm trying to get them right now. I'm trying to get these Boule, and I know that's why they won't do it, because their job is to keep us away from reaching our heights. Their job is to keep us away from reaching out what we're supposed to be doing. When we had a Black Bank campaign in Atlanta going, they were looking at us like we was crazy. But all the Black bankers said, y'all doing a good job, because we see the increase of our people moving their money out of white banks into our own. You follow what I'm saying? And they're not going to, they just won't do the right thing. I'm trying to get them now to put legislation together to help us be classified as indigenous people. You follow, and put back under the treaty protection. And will they do it? No, man. They look at you like Jesse Jackson Jr. He ain't gonna do it. He's trying to run for president. I mean, run for office again. I even sent a word to him. I sent him a package. This article, the indigenous of the earth, letting them know, brother. If ain't no politicians never ran on this, why don't you run on this? People will love you. You follow me? Then are they gonna do it? I doubt it. The pastors, all of them of these Boule band, they just not gonna do it. You know, so they gonna have to pay for their transgressions. And joining the movement, they ain't did it in all this time. Like Elijah Mama said, they were not born to do the right thing. And just because you look like us don't mean you us. These are black devils, for real.
Mhm.
Hey, Mama Kelly.
Mhm.
I use it as a military tactic. I said, well, Boule Negroes, we understand your position. We understand what, I gave them the benefit of the doubt and said, you did some of these things under duress. Do you think, repent means to change your ways? Do you think at this point in the history they can change their ways?
Like Brother Wax said, many of them are so mesmerized by the bling bling of materialism and the illusion of power and money that they can't come around. They don't know how. They many of them. Now remember that Noble Drew Ali said that the preachers would be the last to come around, but they would. But I'm not too sure of that. And not to doubt Noble Drew Ali, because everything he told us from the beginning is sound and actually liberating. But just watching like the political and the social events here in Atlanta, where it's supposed to be the Black Mecca, all I see is that all these Negroes sitting up in these offices, on these benches, in these high tower buildings and everything that they are putting up like their toy houses down here in Atlanta. Um, you know, the people are mesmerized. They think that that is the ultimate power. And certainly money is the ultimate power. Well, money is the illusion. It's the illusion of the matrix that has everybody trapped, and it is an entrapment. That's why we have to look for that power, that ancestral power that is within our hearts. That heart chakra. We have to go there and live in our hearts and learn how to love even those who, well, I ain't saying love your enemy because I don't believe in that. But you still have to have your heart open and ready to receive those who are sincere and honest. But a lot of these that are in power now, they're not going there. And speaking of power, at a later time, I'd like to talk about the women in that who are in power now, but at a later time.
Okay. And also from a previous show, I had mentioned the black preachers that are going over to Israel, and the list is just unbelievable. And I don't know, their intent. Are they going over to get access to the Luciferian monetary currency?
Yes, that is part of the, well, that's the main thing for them. But it is an indoctrination process. And I hear, well, there are 1,000 who went over, and I saw a few black faces, and I must call them black, because they have no consciousness of being anything else. But there's a promise of bringing another 10,000 preachers over to Israel for further indoctrination. Now, what I need to give some foundation to what I believe is happening now, but I don't know. Everybody has to talk. I can't take up all the time.
Okay. All right. So we're trying to kick the New Year's off on a positive note, but we got to clean house. They say right before the New Year you want to clean your house out, and so that was part of some of the reason of bringing these things out, and also letting all opposition know that we, the Aboriginals of the planet, we are all starting to vibrate into the same frequency, and we're going to remove you through our positive thinking, our positive frequency. So we're going to we're going to play this video with the Chinaman. Chairman, I call him the Chinaman.
He's Japanese.
Japanese, right.
There's a difference. You can, like if you lived in California, you could tell a Japanese from a Chinese from a Korean because you see them so much,
Right.
and you can see the differences.
All right, hey, Chairman, you want to give us a little lead in on what's going on with this video, because you were saying that it was AI generated.
Yes. Well, Michio Kaku, I think he's an astrophysicist, and he's working close with Avi Loeb, which is the top astrophysicist on the planet. And what he's doing is he's got a mock description of him having contact with extraterrestrials. Now, everybody know with AI, they can hear your voice and put it in a machine, and it'll come out as though it's you, and people would think it's you. And that voice thing has attracted a lot of people to the point where, we don't know if it's really you or if it's AI. Now, Michio gave permission for them to dub his voice and to communicate to us, on what his conversation with the extraterrestrials is. So even at the end of his speech, what he's going to say, he does this disclaimer saying that it isn't him, but he gave them the permission to use him because a lot of it is his message. And, it's just like with the Avi Loeb, they've got these perios, or what do you call it, papers that they write and to explain to us, what's going on in the scientific world. Well, Michio, he's one of those top guys. So I wouldn't begin to give this discussion on what he's saying for 12 minutes because it's so deep and it's so realistic. But it can only enhance your knowledge of extraterrestrials by listening to what he's saying. Maybe at the end, Brother Andre Jr. can put it in the chat where people will have access to the full speech. Like I say, it's actually 12 minutes, but I think he's only going to do maybe 5 minutes of it. But buckle up because it's really interesting. I had to listen to it about 4 times, and it's still just going through my head, like, wow. So I'll let Andre Jr. take it from there.
All right, with no further ado, here we go.
Exactly 3:17 a.m. this morning, every radio telescope on Earth received the same message simultaneously, not from space, from 3i Atlas itself. And the first word of that message was my name. Hello, Michio. What followed was 18 minutes of direct conversation that has left NASA's leadership in complete panic, world governments in emergency session, and humanity facing a reality we never thought possible. We are no longer alone, and we never were. My name is Michio Kaku, and 3 hours ago, I became the first human being to have a documented conversation with an intelligence from beyond our world, not through speculation or interpretation, but through direct real-time communication. For weeks, we've watched 3i Atlas demonstrate impossible physics, open-dimensional portals, and exhibit behavior that suggested intelligence. But this morning, that intelligence spoke directly to me using concepts in mathematics I've spent my entire career developing. The entity calling itself the Collective knows details about my life, my research, my thoughts that no human being has access to. It referenced conversations I had with my wife that we never shared with anyone. How do you process the moment when the universe looks back at you and says your name? The communication began at 3:17 a.m. Eastern Time when every Deep Space Network facility simultaneously detected a focused transmission aimed specifically at Earth. But this wasn't random radio noise or mathematical sequences. It was human language, perfect English spoken in a voice that somehow seemed both alien and familiar. Dr. Kaku, we have been observing your species' development with great interest. The time has come for direct discourse. 3 impossible things happened in that moment. First, they knew exactly who I was and where to find me. Second, they demonstrated perfect understanding of human language and scientific concepts. Third, they revealed they've been watching our civilization develop for thousands of years. The conversation that followed challenged everything I thought I knew about intelligence, consciousness, and humanity's place in the cosmic order. Let me be absolutely clear about what the collective revealed during our 18-minute exchange. We are not the first intelligent species they've contacted. We're not even the 100th. They described a network of civilizations spanning multiple galaxies connected through dimensional portals like the one 3i Atlas opened, a cosmic community we've been unconsciously preparing to join. But here's what made my blood run cold. They showed me images of civilizations that failed their evaluation. Dead worlds where species destroyed themselves before achieving the wisdom necessary for cosmic citizenship. Earth is currently undergoing what they call final assessment, a comprehensive evaluation of our species' readiness for integration into galactic civilization. And based on our performance so far, we're failing. During our conversation, the collective transmitted mathematical proofs that solve problems I've worked on for decades. Unified field equations, 11-dimensional physics, consciousness transfer protocols. But when I asked how they developed such advanced understanding, their answer changed my perspective on everything. We did not develop this knowledge. We inherited it from species that came before us. What we're dealing with isn't just superior technology. It's accumulated wisdom from thousands of civilizations that have successfully transcended physical limitations. They explained that consciousness isn't produced by biological brains. It's a fundamental property of the universe itself. What we call individual identity is just one limited expression of cosmic consciousness. And every species that survives their assessment eventually learns to access this universal consciousness directly. I need to share what happened when I asked the collective about human survival. There was a pause. Not silence, but something that felt like cosmic sadness. Your species possesses remarkable creativity and resilience, Dr. Kaku, but you remain trapped by primitive concepts of separation, competition, and individual identity. They showed me humanity from their perspective. 7 billion consciousness fragments, all convinced they're separate from each other, fighting over resources on a planet that could easily support 50 billion people if we understood cooperation. The moment that broke my heart was when they asked, why do you permit children to starve while others live in abundance? Why do you poison the air you breathe? Why do you prepare for war while claiming to desire peace? I couldn't answer because viewed from cosmic perspective, our behavior appears utterly irrational. The collective provided evidence of their claims that left me speechless. Historical records of human civilization dating back 50,000 years, detailed documentation of our technological development, our wars, our scientific breakthroughs. They showed me footage of key moments in human history, the first use of fire, the development of agriculture, the splitting of the atom, all observed and recorded by intelligences we never knew existed. But the most disturbing revelation was their explanation of human genetics. Certain modifications made to our DNA 200,000 years ago, enhancements designed to accelerate our intellectual development. We didn't evolve naturally into intelligent beings. We were upgraded by previous members of the galactic community who saw potential in early human consciousness. Every major leap in human civilization was guided. The Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, all subtly influenced to prepare us for this moment. Within minutes of my conversation with the collective, every major government activated protocols that officially don't exist. Emergency communications between world leaders, military assets repositioned globally, and activation of something called the Species Survival Council. The collective revealed that certain humans have been in contact with galactic civilizations for decades. Secret programs within NASA, the European Space Agency, and military organizations worldwide. President after president has been briefed on humanity's eventual assessment. Every major world leader knows this day was coming. But they also know that public revelation of humanity's cosmic status would likely trigger psychological collapse, economic devastation, and social chaos on a global scale. The collective gave them a choice: gradual disclosure over decades, or the shock of sudden revelation. They chose secrecy, and now that secrecy is ending whether they're ready or not. The collective explained the true purpose of those objects traveling with 3i Atlas. They're not just portal stabilizers or communication relays, they're evaluation stations. Each object contains consciousness interfaces, technology that monitors human thoughts, emotions, and decision-making processes on a global scale. For months, they've been conducting what amounts to a psychological audit of our entire species, analyzing our responses to crisis, our capacity for cooperation, our treatment of those less powerful than ourselves. Every act of kindness, every expression of cruelty, every decision to help or harm others has been recorded and analyzed by intelligences trying to determine if humanity deserves cosmic citizenship. And the results of that evaluation will determine whether Earth joins the galactic community or faces the consequences of cosmic quarantine. Near the end of our conversation, the
Wait. That's about 5 minutes right there. He didn't really give me too many spaces to interject and stop him. But what I'll do as Elder Chairman suggested, I'll put the link to this video in both chats on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, Chairman, so we're gonna go down the line. Chairman, you want to give your final assessment of what he's saying?
Well, I think his mock presentation was right on point. It's letting us know, what's been going on this planet. We were put here. So if we were put here, quite naturally, they're going to observe us because we're their experimentation, So there's a lot we've got to learn, but a lot of it is coming from our, working with each other. And then a lot of it is from downloads, because we're all receiving a little download on something and we got our opinion. But if we follow some of these scientists, they're given more than opinion. They're given concrete evidence. It's just like there's concrete evidence of we're on this planet. Everybody know we're here on Earth. But how did we get here? And we know that there have been, extraterrestrials that have walked amongst us. So they have the ability to come and go because they got that type of technology. But they're doing everything to help us. They want us to join the Galactic Confederation, but they're not going to let us if we keep this Mongoloid mentality of being a warrior. That's not the way. I'll land that plane.
All right. Hey, Mama Kelly, what's your assessment of that?
It's fantastic. In fact, I've been waiting to hear this assessment that the brother has brought forth. What's in our way are the evil beings. Not to say that there aren't other people or other species or but the people, the Aboriginal people all over the world are standing up to claim what's theirs, and I'm seeing it every day. It is those greedy ones at the top who are working hard to keep us in this third dimensional consciousness of materialism. They are the ones that are keeping us from actually joining the Galactic Federation. And they have so many brainwashed minions out here working that even though the plan is that we can move forward almost within the next 2 years, and we can actually ascend. It's that these who we have accepted or allowed to actually rule over us on this planet. All of us. I mean, how many people are there?
8 billion.
That at the top. Only a few. But how come all of us who are the worker bees, why can't we change that? We know about those people in the middle, and especially the preachers and the imams and the rabbis. Their job is to keep us stupid and in the third dimension and without a clue of who of our divine lineage. And so that they are the ones who are keeping us from ascending. It's up to us, and it's the messages that even small groups like us can actually put that information out there, and we don't know. Somebody could run across it and stop, and that was all there to hear. They had to do was to hear something different because they were searching. And so this is what I'm glad to see, that they have actually uh, talked to us in the language that we can understand, knowing that, okay, so they're not here to destroy us or the earth, but the earth is going to change. It is going to change by the fact that we had this communication. The earth is changing because she's tired of these demons that are ruining the show. Okay, so as you guys say, I'll land this plane.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, what's your take on this tape, man? You gotta go on mute.
Mute. He's on mute. Mike, Mac.
You got it. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. It's very real. I mean, you know, that's why I've been studying up under Dr. York. And that's why I've followed the trail from Noble Drew Ali to Elijah Muhammad to Malachi Zadok. Because he said these people are up under divine judgment, but that judgment cannot take place until the renewal of the planet has happened. He told us what information to look for, and the man that carried that information was Dr. York. Dr. York is the one that has the 76 trillion year history of our people and this planet in a book called The Holy Tablets. He talked about when he was a child, he grew up with 3 alien beings that were his friends. 3 grays. He called, I forgot their names, but I have Alamar, Krill, and I forgot the other one. But he talked about these are the beings that used to come and kidnap him and take him on the ships and take him away from here when he was a child. He used to get in trouble because he pop up. His sister wrote a book called My Brother, the Extraterrestrial. That book is so powerful. And it's because we don't know. Like he said everybody had representatives. He represents our race in the Galactic Federation. But see, he was talking crazy. And we don't believe things until the white man say it. That's our biggest problem. We don't have a clue. The Melchizedek spoken of in the Bible. That's why Jesus was having a problem with the people back then, because when Jesus came, he was a rabbi, but all rabbis were supposed to come through the priesthood of Levi, the Levitical priesthood. That was the earthly priesthood. He came in the priesthood in the order of Melchizedek in Hebrews 7. That's the galactical order. And so when he came, if you pay close attention, Jesus didn't get upset until he went to the house of the Lord. Pay close attention to that. He did not get upset. The only time you saw Jesus got upset in the Bible was when he entered the house of the Lord. Oh my God. Now, if he came here today, it'd be the same thing, because these niggas is crazy in the house of the Lord. You follow them? They following these demons. We're being watched over. We've always been watched over, and that's why they've always sent representatives. But we don't know these people were indigenous. We have indigenous people here, and we have our indigenous people in the solar system that has always come through here watching over us. They could not. Malachi wrote something that was so profound. He said, brother, they cannot destroy us. They want to, but even if they could, he said there would be a star holocaust where all the planets will be drawn back into the sun because we are the magnetic attraction that holds this universe in fit form. We ain't got a clue who we got with us. But by the time he get out of jail, like he said, all eyes will bear witness. So we are protected, especially those of us have pure hearts. He said, that's why it says, come out of her, my people. That's a real statement. Come out of her, my people. Y'all can play around and enjoy the luxuries of life and got all that damn money, can't do nothing but buy. You ain't got all these millionaires and billionaires, they can't do nothing but purchase because that's the devil's money. I told him, I said, the devil been blessing you, brother. You brothers being blessed by the devil. That's why you can't do nothing for your own community. You can only purchase and buy, and all these cars and all these mansions. Pay attention to that. That's all they can do is buy. Buy all this jewelry, buy all this, so much jewelry you can put on your neck. I mean, damn, these niggas about to break their neck with all this jewelry on their neck. You follow what I'm saying? But that's all they can do with the devil's money. And that's a fact. So nobody wants to listen to the man who has been sent. Jesus came 2,000 years ago in the order of Melchizedek. This time, Melchizedek has come back to this planet personally, and we ain't got a clue. But he's been talking about all this stuff since 1960s. All this stuff, the AI Atlas and all that. This man is the first one to talk. He was sent here to expose these people, to expose these 13 families, the 300. He was sent here to expose them. Prior to him, these people had never been exposed. But he's the one that started exposing them. But no, nobody want, now they want to talk about what he did, because people don't like him. I told somebody, I said, I got a whole library of Dr. York's books. I don't remember reading that one book that said he wants you niggas to like him. Same thing with Elijah Muhammad. Same thing with Noble Drew Ali. Ain't nobody asked nobody to like nobody. They bringing us information. And all we have to do, and he never said, believe me, ever. That man is always, that's what got my attention when that man said, but don't believe me. Check this out for yourself. I was just sitting here to give you the information for you to check it out. That's why he said he had to go away, because people start worshiping him. He said he's not here for that. Same thing with Jesus. They was trying to worship today. They didn't fulfill it. They got us worshiping Jesus. Jesus told them not to worship him. You follow what I'm saying? So, you know, we have our representatives. We are protected. I ain't even got to worry about it. And they ruling us through fear. That's the whole purpose of the crucifix. Because when you see Jesus up there, these brothers is like this here. They have a certain attitude. They put Jesus on the cross for a reason. Because they look at that cross, you say, oh, if you want to do the right thing, that fear sets in, because you look at that crucifix and say, no, God sent his son down here. Look what they did to him. What do we think we'll do to your black ass? I'm telling you, this is deep. You know what I'm saying? So we look at what the white folks talking about, but I ain't concerned about them, because I know who's on this planet. And whatever that man say, he ain't been wrong in 60 years. I don't think he's wrong now. And he ain't been found wrong. They call him everything but a liar. That's all I can say. So I'm not concerned about all that. He releases the look. When COVID started, he wrote that book 5 years before COVID hit. He told us to look for it. I mean, that's what he's here to do, to protect us, to give us information so we know what they're doing. He wrote COVID 5 years before it hit. And he said COVID is just number 14 of 24 viruses that's coming to get their ass. He said, and those that follow him. That's what he said. So he talked about it, gave us the picture and everything. And that was 5 years before it hit. And he said the purpose of them integrating is because what we don't know, he said, is that COVID came to attack them. He said, but because we are integrated, we don't know it, but he said we're getting it from them and bringing it to our community. And to prove that point, it didn't go nowhere in Africa. The only place COVID is in Angola, South Africa, where a lot of white folks is. That's the only place it spread. And because of that, that proved what he wrote in that book. So he don't have nothing to prove. You follow what I'm saying? But by the time he get out, we gonna know we got a brother with us. We better get out of that white man know everything mode. That's what we gotta do. And so he released books all the time. New books coming. He constantly releasing books from prison, letting us know this is what's getting ready to happen. That's what's getting ready to happen. He been doing this since the 60s. Because Elijah Muhammad told us, just like Jesus had a predecessor, John the Baptist, told us what to look for and who to look for. Elijah Muhammad was the man that told us what and who to look for. Farrakhan must have got a phone call because they scared to death to pass this information to the people. That's a fact. We offered to give books away at the mosque here in Chicago. They wouldn't even bite on that. I tried to give them El's Holy Quran, where Dr. York retranslated the Quran. I gave it to them, say, bro, why don't y'all make this the official Quran of the Nation of Islam? No other Muslim group on this planet has this book. There's a prophecy that says when the Quran reaches its final destination, it will be retranslated and put back into its pristine purity the way the angel Gabriel gave it to the Prophet Muhammad. That book, and then it will be sent back over to Mecca. Dr. York is the one who retranslated that book, said chapter 3, chapter 45, originally chapter 1, chapter 50, originally chapter 2. He put it back in the order, in its pristine order, sent it back over to Mecca. They know who he is and they know that he's here. That's why he's in prison. President Bush personally gave a dinner to that demon Sheriff Seals down in Eatonton, Georgia, for his fight against Dr. York. Why would a president do that? They know who this man is. We don't.
All right. So moving right along. So Andre Jr., what do you pick up from that video?
Well, I'm kind of like I kind of relate to that scene on what's the movie we usually watch with Keanu Reeves and it pops.
The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Yeah, The Day the Earth Stood Still. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my personal perspective. I think the most intelligent beings in the universe are going to communicate directly with the most pure-hearted and original beings on this planet. So now I hear what Keku was saying. I do. And I'm just, to be honest, being somewhat critical of it. I hear what he's saying, but on the same token, I ain't hear that straight out of Keku mouth. I ain't sitting right in front of him and hear it myself, right? But I heard that message through its format. It's an AI video, although Keku did say, listen, you can use my voice and use somewhat of my posture, to relay this video. But just like in the movie, Day the Earth Stood Still, they didn't go, to some quote unquote leaders in the world. They went straight to the people who could understand them the most, who would just understand the universal language, which was mathematics. So went straight to them. And so I know we've got some of those type of people right in our own mix. And so we'll be on standby to receive what we need to hear, But yeah, I think overall the for lack of a better word, the warning of it was on time. I think who needs to hear it heard it. And but like Elder Max say, hey, I ain't got no fear of none of that. We gonna be all right. That I can feel in my heart, so I know it to be true. Right. Yeah, we're gonna be all right.
All right. So as we close out, now this is fact. 35 years ago, February, the first week of February 1990, when I moved from DC to Nashville, I had a supernatural experience where my soul went directly into the light. And it was a brief moment, but it was long enough to prepare me 35 years later for where we are right now. And it was so on a level, on such a high frequency. It's recorded in my soul, the experience that I had. And then just here recently, 2 years ago, with all the things that I was prepared to do, to deliver, to explain, to help, to aid and assist us as a species to join the Galactic Council. At a point 2 years ago, I came to a conclusion, we're not going to make it. And at the point in time where I started having heart problems and was told to go to the hospital, they cut my chest open and shut my heart down. And I knew at that point that I had the opportunity to go back into that light, and I was sadly mistaken. I went into a dark void. And basically what that void says was, your mission is not complete and you don't have the authority. Because my mindset was, just let me out of here, let me go get a ship, and I'll come back here and sterilize this planet. And those guardians, and they demonstrated to me, you don't have that authority, that they had a love for humanity far greater than what I can comprehend with boots on the ground in the physical form. And when I came back from that black void, that I had to come back and complete my mission, they downloaded to me how we're going to do this. So in simple form, all of the star seeds are required to come together at this point to start vibrating on the high frequency and start to demonstrate by example. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing all the tribes together. We're going to be demonstrating on that high frequency. We're going to remove these demons from the planet through our positive thought that if they transgress against us, you will be destroyed. You will be removed from this planet. And so we as a collective, we have the power to do that. And the star seeds, you are required to come together and stand on ground to do what we're required to do. So all of those people, all of those Aboriginal nations all over the world, and especially here in the Americas, come get with us, United Aboriginal American Republic. That's all we're doing. We're elevating the frequency to shut these demons down so we can demonstrate to the Most High that we are capable of becoming a civilized species and joining the Galactic Council. On that note, Happy New Year's, Luciferian New Year's. Of course, we know our New Year starts in the beginning of the first season of Aries, but we'll leave it there. And we look forward to bringing you more shows for the rest of the year. We're looking forward to all the Aboriginals coming together and collaborating on how we're going to reclaim our planet. And on that note, go ahead, Junior, and close us out.
All right, as usual, family.
Can I say one thing first?
Absolutely.
One thing. Listen, I don't know if I ever said this, but I personally contacted NASA's head research scientist over all this when I was doing my research. Elijah Muhammad talked about the mothership. Malachi talking about the mothership. I said, you know what? Like he said, check it out for yourself. So I contacted NASA's head research scientist. When I called, they said, well, I'll put you in touch with a research scientist. I said, no, I need to speak to the head research scientist. I left him a message. He called me back. I was shocked. And so when he called me back, I called him back, and he said, yeah, I said, my name is Matt Glover, and I wanted to ask you a question. I said, have you ever seen the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still? I said, the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still about this man that came here and they locked him up, put him in jail. I said, and I was asking him about the mothership and this and that. I said, this man came here and they locked him up. I told about Dr. York, and they put him in jail. This man told me, he told me things that made me say, oh my God, this is real. And this is when I started writing my book. But when I explained these things to him, and he said he hadn't seen it, I said, that movie is true, but it's about a brother, a black man who has been sent to this planet. I said, and I sent him the book called The Man from Planet Ritz. I told him I'm gonna send him some information that's gonna flow him. So I sent him Man from Planet Ritz. I sent him the map of the universe of the 18th and 19th galaxy that Malachi had put out and everything. And then word came out that these scientists from NASA actually went and visited Malachi and told him if he told them certain things about the universe, they would have get him out of jail. And he walked out of that meeting. So I just wanted to say that. That's a true story.
All right. All right. Well, on that note, this has been the Straight Talk Morning Show on the Straight Talk Network. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Peace out.